We have always been attracted to the heroes, the legends, the influencers, the icons. Society celebrates the trendsetters, the tastemakers, the game changers, the record breakers. But what if anyone was capable of becoming the greatest of all time?
Okay, question. You can shout it out if you want or just keep it to yourself. But who is your best dressed friend? Okay. So y'all have a best dressed friend. They got that style. They're wearing the brands. What brands are they wearing? What are they? Francesca's. Yeah. Someone said Balenciaga. I'm like, what middle school are you going to? Okay, good. Next question. Who is the best singer in your friend group? And be serious. Like, I said be serious. You can't say it's you. I've heard you sing. Okay. Who has the best... All right, next one. Who has the best sense of humor in your friend group? If you're voting for yourself, is it you really, like, you need other people to validate, to corroborate, to confirm? Okay? All right. I like this. I like the buzz in the room. You know why there is? Like, sometimes I ask a question and we get nothing, no responses. But I think this is because we like to talk about who's the best at stuff. And it's always debatable, right? Like, whoever's the best at something is always debatable. Like, I'll continue. And for example, who's the greatest basketball player of all time? Correct. It is LeBron James. I mean, exactly. The statistics are there. It's Kate. Who said Caitlin Clark? Okay. This is my point. My next point. What is the greatest movie series of all time? Deadpool is the greatest movie series of all time. Okay. I was going to say the Despicable Me series, but that's fine. God will get the girls. Okay. All right, last question. That was so good. I'm the greatest of all time at impressions. Okay, last one. Who's the greatest superhero of all time? We had a debate pre-service. Someone said Doctor Strange. Jesus? Yeah, if you didn't say Jesus, like, what are you even doing here? He's a hero. He saved everyone and everything for all time. The true greatest of all time. Jesus. Okay. Silence in the court. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Here's my point with all this. I like the debates on who the greatest of all time is because everybody has different answers, like I said, and our reasons for giving the different answers are always different too. Like our reasons for these things, like some people will say when it comes to basketball, it's about championships. Some people say not necessarily. It's about how they made the people on their team even better. And they might not have the statistics, but that was because of the situations around them. So we have all these different opinions and justifications around who the greatest of all time is. So during this series, we're going to be looking at some GOATs, at some greatest of all times, but the specific ones that Jesus talked about, who he said were the greatest of all time, and what made them so great. So, as we do that, I pray that you really do lock in here, because we didn't split middle and high school up. We're all together. Don't make me regret it, okay? We could split it if we need to. I don't want to have to. But we're going to be looking at but not just who they were, at what made them so great and why. And at the core and at its essence, what you're going to see is there's this one real word that's at the basis of what made these people so great. And it's this word, it's serve. It's serving. It's those people who served one another, who elevated other people above themselves, who put other people first. Someone who's kind of a GOAT in my life is actually my younger brother, and he doesn't even know I'm going to be talking about this, but this is my younger brother. His name is Skylar, the twin. His like primary job is with this country rock star named Co Wetzel, and he's the merchandise manager for Co, and he's on tour the majority of the year playing huge concerts and arenas and festivals and things like that. He's out actually on tour right now, so he's going all over the U.S. and seeing crazy artists all the time. He's living just this insane life. Like, he tells me about it a lot. I scrolled back through our text messages, and this is what makes my little brother sort of a goat in my life. It's because these are the text messages that I get from him. So every time he's on tour as a merch manager, he gets access to all of the merchandise at these shows. And y'all know the prices be ridiculous of these shirts and stuff, right? But he just texts me and he's like, hey, what do you want? He'll text me the picture of the rack of shirts. He's like, anything you want, like pick one. Just let me know. He's like, what size? Which one do you want? You know what I'm saying? So he's like, and then like this right here, I got you, bro. It's free. And then my response, well, yee. So this is like a very common thing. And what he'll do is he just gives me the shirt because they offer him a free shirt. For working the gig, you get a free shirt. But he's not taking it for himself. He's taking his free shirt and he's just going to mail it to me from wherever he is in the United States, or he'll bring it home and just give me like a whole haul whenever he gets home from tour. And I just love that. It makes me feel very seen and known and loved because I like band shirts. And I think it's funny that my entire wardrobe is eventually going to be made out of free shirts to concerts that I did not go to. So it's kind of awesome. But it just puts on display how much like my brother loves me, and just a little thing that's special that he doesn't have to do, but he does do just to go the extra mile, just to sort of put me ahead of himself in that small way. It's not hard for him, but it's something, and it means it's a little thing, but it means a big thing, a lot to me, and it's special. And so, yeah. And this isn't usually what we think of when we think of serving, by the way. Like, I don't know about you, but when I think of serving, I think of going on a mission trip and like digging water wells in Africa, or going overseas and or building houses in South America or something like that, or going to our food distribution center in East Austin, or the clothing distribution or boutique that we have, or even Community First Village, and like going on these serve weekends. And that's great. Like, those things are serving too. But you can serve the person sitting next to you right now. Like, you can just connect and meet somebody, get them something at Vibes, just give them a little bit of your time. Just acknowledge somebody for a second and just help them feel seen. That small moment might be a really big deal to somebody. So we're kind of defining serving throughout this series as when we put others' needs above our own. And that's really it. So it can be the big thing for sure, but it also can be the small thing. And regardless, it's something that we can all do in our unique way, because we all have different strengths and weaknesses. For some of you, like playing an instrument on our stage, which we have 2 new people playing on stage this morning. Did you guys notice? Joshua and Sailor. So that can be a form of it, like using the talent that God's gifted you with in order to kind of serve you guys so you can have a worshipful experience. But you're like, well, I'm not musically talented. I'm not gifted in that way. Okay, well, you can come early and help set things up. It doesn't even have to be here. Like I said, you can just take out the trash for your mom or something whenever you get home without being asked, because you don't have to. That's putting someone else's needs above your own. All right, so turn to Philippians. We're going to be in the Bible real quick. If you have a Bible or the Bible app, be in the book of Philippians. It's in the New Testament. And I look at it like this. If you see Galatians or Ephesians, it's right up in there. And I remember it goes Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, GEP, because God eats popcorn. All right, so that's just if I'm flipping through the Bible, if I see one of those, yeah, he ate. We're in Philippians chapter 2. And this is one of Paul. He wrote this letter to these Christians, believers in Jesus who were trying to follow Christ for the first time after his death, burial, and resurrection. Paul was one of the most influential Christians of all time. And it was because he challenged and encouraged Christians, which are us. Like, we're trying to follow the teachings of Jesus, I think. I don't know. That's why we're here, right? But, amen. This is what he says. He goes, do nothing, in Philippians chapter 2, verse 3, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. That's hard. Like, nothing? Like, do nothing that serves yourself. Nothing for your own selfish gain or gratification. Nothing that's just going to elevate you and be like, look at me, I'm awesome. Nothing. Rather, he says, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interest of others. I want you to catch what Paul is doing here. He's creating sort of like a contrast with me and you, with the self and with others. And so if you can think about it like this, there's like the me and you on opposite ends of the spectrum. And like in everything I do, I'm either going to serve myself or I'm going to serve others. Okay, here it is. So here's what he do. He uses phrases like selfish ambition. You guys know what ambition is? Like when you're ambitious, it means like you're after this goal, like you're trying to achieve or accomplish something. But selfish ambition, your goal, what you're trying to achieve and accomplish is just for yourself. Everyone look at me. Look how amazing I am. I did this. I'm great. Look at me. Aren't I awesome? It's all about me. It's all for my glory. So you notice in me. And then he says vain conceit. So he's like, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. When you think of vain, it's the word vanity comes out of, which is again like it's superficial, it's external. Your vanity is how much jewelry you're wearing, what brand, how expensive your stuff is, the persona that you put out there. It's vanity. It's all about looks, but it's not real. There's no substance there. And conceit is again whenever you're so obsessed with yourself. You know that person who's just like too much about themselves, like all they talk about is themselves all the time. That's a conceited person. So do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. That's the me part. And then he contrasts it using this transitional word rather. He's like, instead, trade those things in humility to elevate other people, like put others on that pedestal. Like following Christ is like taking yourself off the top and elevating others above you. It's taking the pyramid of success that like culture tells us to go after, like what the goat really looks like, and just flipping it upside down and saying, no, like the people who are at the bottom belong at the top. I will serve. I will descend down so that others will rise. It's almost like a race to the bottom. Isn't that weird? It seems so counterintuitive, and it's because it's so countercultural. But he's challenging us to change the focus off of the self and onto others. Now, Paul is not just pulling this out of thin air. You're like, who the crap is Paul? Why does he get to tell me what to do? Why should I listen to his words? Well, it's not really his words. He's basing it off of Jesus' life and what Jesus said and what he did. And if you just continue reading in Philippians, you'll see it. Verses 5-8. In your relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus. Okay, well, what mindset did he have? This was his mindset. Jesus, who was in very nature God, he didn't consider equality with God something to be used for his own advantage. He wasn't pursuing vain conceit, right? He wasn't pursuing selfish ambition. He was like, I'm not going to use my position as God, literally walking around on this planet, to say, look at me, look how amazing I am, look how awesome I am, look at this status, look at me at the top of the pyramid and all you little people below me, ha ha ha. He didn't say that. Instead, what did he do? He says, rather, the same word. He made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, flipping it upside down, and being made in human likeness. Stepped out of heaven and walked around with us on this planet. And being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death. I mean, served to the point that it literally cost him his life, even death on a cross. So, we don't just serve because Paul said so, or Rin said so, or it's a good idea, or even worse, it makes me look really good. Like, look how humble I am because I'm serving all these people, and now I'm going to go post it on Instagram. That's making it about you again, isn't it? That sounds like vain conceit and selfish ambition again, doesn't it? Service can be cloaked in selfishness. Someone write that down. But, so we're not doing it for these reasons, for others to see, to feel better about ourselves. No. We serve simply for this reason, because Jesus served us. We serve others because Jesus served us. And we are called to be like him. So, I want to challenge you this week to do something small to serve someone. Think of it right now. Write it down, set a reminder on your phone, don't forget. The worst thing would be to walk out of this place and not do it. for what we just talked about to almost fall on deaf ears and mean nothing. And then we just walk out of this place and we're not different. We're not better. We're not having this mindset not of selfishness and vanity, but of humility and service. That would be the win. So let's do something small. For my brother, he's sending me a t-shirt this week, and it rocks. You'll see me in it next Sunday even, maybe. For you, it could be picking up your room, doing a chore around the house. It could just be calling somebody or texting them who's struggling right now and going through a hard time mentally, and just encouraging them for a minute. What could you do? It could be here. It could be at home. It could even be online, like defending someone in the comments. I don't know. They're out there. Do it. Keep it up. And see what God does inside your heart. See what type of spiritually mature person starts to cultivate. I guarantee, like, it's not going to seem like the goal, but it is the goal. The world is going to say, like, no, it's all about you, it's all about you. But Jesus is saying, it's not about you, it's about them. It's not about me, it's about others. And if we're all doing that, guess what? It becomes about us all, and that's pretty awesome.